Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am back today with another Plan With Me in my A5 Print Impressions rings, and we are ready for the week of Sunday the 11th. I always start my weeks on a Sunday, and then it ends on Saturday the 17th. I don't know why I've always done it that way. It's just, it just makes more sense to my brain. But, however you start your week, that's okay. I've just pulled out some little, first I've pulled out the watermelon kit from Lisa Loren Plans. And you get it is the gnomes, watermelon gnomes. You get a full sticker. You get these, you get 9 photo boxes, a couple of them that you can write in, and some functional boxes down at the bottom. You get a whole sheet of functional boxes. You get 9 half boxes, some quarter boxes, some eighths, and then just some like doodle boxes. You also get the washi, Sweet Summertime. You get the days of the week and the date dots, which I think I may use those. I'm not sure. I think I'm going to cover up mine. And then you get a full sheet of checklist with some habit trackers and some Monday through Sunday. You get some glitter headers, some more headers, and some watermelon washi. And then you get a full sheet of functionals. You get some post-it notes, some bills due, weekend, some checklists, a lot of icons and deco, and even some scripts. So, let's start out with, I really want to use these. I wonder if it's going to be really difficult to pull these off. They're really sticky, but the top layer comes right off. So, I'm going to do that real quick and pull these off. They're kind of a cardboardy, but I can put my days of the week sticker right over that spot. I have all these appointments. I actually have some appointments this week. I know last week's Plan With Me was kind of boring. I didn't really have anything going on. I know we all live for a week like that every now and then. At least I know I do. Okay. Then start with Sunday. I'm just going to put it right over top of this. Can't really even tell. And I said that Sunday was the 11th. I better make sure. Yeah. Sunday is the 11th. Monday is the 12th. I just really want to be festive this week and use as much of this kit as I can, so Tuesday is the 13th. You can't even tell there's a little sticker underneath that, so that's good. And then Wednesday is the 14th. So I thought this week, it's been a while since I kind of did like an introduction. I'm not sure well, I know I've told my story part of my journey in this life, and how I met Greg. But I just thought I would just talk a little bit so you could get to know me for my new subscribers, and maybe forgotten for my older subscribers. But so I am from Indiana. I lived there for 42 years. I now live in California. I met Greg, my fiance, in an online AA support group. Back east in Indiana, at least where I'm from, it's very rural. It's AA is not very talked about. It's not very prevalent, and it is just like, oh, how would I describe it? It's just kind of hush hush. You have to drive a long way for a meeting. It's so that was one of my deciding factors of why I came to California instead of him relocating to Indiana. He also is a recovering alcoholic. We both got sober in 2014, and my kids at the time were grown. My son was getting ready to get married. My daughter was graduating high school, and they were starting their own lives. So I was going to be, not that, I'm still a mom, but not actively on mom duty anymore. So kind of already getting depressed about going through empty nest syndrome and not being needed by my kids as much. So relocating and meeting Greg at that time was just perfect. Because where I'm from, AA is not really talked about much. Recovery in California is huge. It's kind of a double-edged sword because it's huge because there's so many drugs and alcohol in California. And back home, it's not as prevalent as it is out here. So I needed to be somewhere where I could be celebrated. I felt my family was, they were hush-hush, let's not talk about your sobriety and, that kind of thing. So, long story short, I made the decision to come to California. And, it's probably the first time I ever really made a decision just for me, based on me. My kids were extremely supportive. They love Greg. And so, yeah, that is kind of how my life started over when I got sober. And, so, I wonder if that's just a little bit too big. Let's see if we can use this washi in a way and put sweet on the first sheet and then summertime over here. So that's kind of my story on how I relocated to California. I love my family dearly, but we don't always see eye to eye, and that's not gonna, well, maybe it will. And I didn't feel like I felt like they were kind of ashamed of me because I was an alcoholic. And I'm very proud of my story. I share it a lot. There's some videos up above talking about my story. And yeah, so I moved to California. Let's see if we can't put this one up here. And, you know, the distance between my family is, you know, allowed us to heal some, and, you know, it's just been good. It's, you know, I miss my family greatly. I usually go home once a year at least, if not twice a year. And, but because of COVID, of course, I couldn't go home this past year. So we're currently working on hopefully going home soon. That is our goal. I think I feel safe enough to travel. Greg and I have both been vaccinated, so yeah, we're ready to venture home. And so when I came to California in 2015, I was experiencing a lot of pain, physical pain, after I got sober, in my joints, in my feet, in my legs, and I was probably doing a lot of damage when I was drinking, because I literally almost drank myself to death, and that's no joke. I drank probably, it almost makes me embarrassed to say, but probably close to 2 gallons of vodka a day. Yeah, I had a lot of pain that I was drinking away, numbing, I guess you could say. So we have Sweet Summertime. And so I'm going to put this over here just to bring that gnome in on Wednesday. And so in 2016, I began having excruciating pain all of a sudden in my hips, my right hip specifically. And for 8 weeks I went to the doctor, I went to the ER. They tried to figure out what was going on because I had not fallen or anything, so there wasn't really any sign of physical trauma or anything like that. So it took about 8 weeks before I went to this new doctor, because I couldn't get anywhere with any other doctors. And when I found this new doctor, she immediately sent me for an MRI. And the day that I had my MRI, you know, when you get done, you know, I've been in excruciating pain for 8 weeks. When you get done with your MRI, they're like, okay, we'll call you in probably a couple weeks. Your doctor will get the results, and you can know more, you know, about what we found. So we only lived a couple, I'd say about 5 minutes from where I had my MRI done. And when I got home and I was getting ready to open the front door and walk through the front door from the MRI, my phone rang, and it was the MRI place. And he's like, it was the radiologist, and he said, I need you to go directly to the ER. Don't do anything else, just go straight to the ER. And he proceeded to tell me that I had fractured my pelvis in 2 places. And I had no trauma. I hadn't fallen or anything like that. So we were very stumped. And that was, it was pretty traumatic. And the reason they sent me straight to the ER was because I mean, I was walking on it. I wasn't supposed to be, but I was walking on it. But because it can, you have a lot of blood vessels and stuff in your pelvis, and you can actually bleed to death from a fractured pelvis. And so they sent me straight to the ER. Then when we arrive at the ER, they continually question me. They make Greg go out of the room. They continually question me about if Greg had been hurting me. And I just hadn't told someone. And I'm like, good Lord, no. You know, and I told him that, you know, our stories totally matched up. There had been no trauma. I hadn't fallen. Because you don't just break, you know, the pelvis is one of the hardest bones in your body to break. Usually it's caused by a high-speed crash or a fall from a significant height. And I hadn't had any of that. So, so yeah, they were pretty concerned that, that something had happened. And, it was very traumatic to kind of be raked through the coals like that, put on the spot, and, you know, and them to think that he had injured me in some way. I don't know if many of you know about, you know, you may have heard me talk about Greg, but if you don't know us, you don't maybe know our relationship, and we were kind of, he's my best friend, and we were kind of each other's saving grace when we found each other. I mean, literally, we found each other clear across the country, and that doesn't happen very often. You know, we were in an AA group. He messaged me a couple times, and I totally ignored him because I'm like, not interested, but he never was inappropriate or anything. He just, you know, we posted positive things, we talked about our story, you know, and that kind of thing, and so yeah, we just have a very wonderful relationship. So yeah, I ended up in the ER. It was a long time. And then we were on a mission my doctor was on a mission to figure out why or how I had broken my pelvis in 2 spots. So the next several months were, of course, healing, and you're not supposed to be weight bearing, so you're on bed rest. And they actually thought that I possibly had bone cancer, and so they did a bone marrow biopsy to try to see if it was cancer. And they accidentally just kind of found that I didn't have bone cancer. What I had was called MGUS, which is a MGUS is like it is like pre-multiple myeloma is what I call it, because MGUS is like smoldering multiple myeloma. I don't have enough cells, abnormal cells, to categorize it as multiple myeloma, but you're kind of a excuse me, a ticking time bomb, because probably sometime in your lifetime your cells are going to reproduce and you're going to have multiple myeloma. Some people do, some people don't. There is no rhyme or reason. There is no way to prevent it. It's just A lot of people have multiple myeloma but never find out they have multiple myeloma. So when I say it was an accident, it was literally they stumbled upon it by doing that. But so then after they found that, they also found some chronic severe vitamin deficiencies, which could have led to the fracture as well as the multiple myeloma could have too. So now I suffer from, and that is because I had gastric bypass surgery back in 2003. You lose a portion of your small intestines when you have that surgery, and it's the absorption portion of your stomach. And so, yeah, my body was not absorbing vitamins and minerals, and my bones were suffering. So yeah, 2016, 2017 were really rough on us, not necessarily on our relationship, but it allowed us to grow closer. Because I had the severe vitamin deficiencies, my fracture, a fracture that should have healed in approximately 3 months, took me an entire year before I was healed and cleared of the fractures. So that was a year of bed rest on and off. And you do a lot of thinking. And in that process, I ended up having to file for disability, but they just don't give it to anyone. You really have to fight for your case. So I just most recently this year got approved for my disability in January. So that's kind of not necessarily gratifying, but you feel a sense of relief. But yeah, so it's been rocky. It's been a rocky start. And then, when things are going well, like in 2017, I had to have bladder repair surgery, and ended up about 4 weeks after surgery, I had severe pain in my stomach. Ended up having to call an ambulance to come and get me. And when I got to the hospital and they did a CAT scan and some x-rays, they discovered that I had a small bowel obstruction, which is sometimes caused from an abdominal surgery like I had had, and taking a lot of pain medication, which I do because of all my chronic pain. And so I developed a small bowel obstruction to the point where my bowel almost burst. And they told me in the ER that they had to stick a tube down my nose. And I was like, you've got to be shitting me. That's not happening. But yeah, I willingly let them put it down there, as much as I hated to. But yeah, it's just been, it's kind of been one thing after another for us. But that's okay. We're strong enough. We can handle it. I had an NG tube down my nose and throat for 3 days, where they sedated me and kept me kind of unconscious because I was in so much pain. And when you have a bowel obstruction, you cannot have pain medication because it makes your bowels even worse. So I suffered for 3 days, and they finally just put me out to avoid the suffering. Pretty much because Greg couldn't handle seeing it or hearing it anymore. I'm just talking. doing an introduction for my little video.
Introduce me.
So yeah, I had a small bowel obstruction. And then in 2020, May of, after COVID started, I tore my meniscus in my right knee, and that's been a year of severe pain. I just most recently in April had a scope done on my knee, and we discovered that my knee is much worse than they ever thought, and I need to have probably a double knee replacement. So we're just getting started on that whole process now. But it's a lot. It is. Some days. I already talked about that. But that's just a little backstory on me. Kind of bring you up to date. My knees hurt me every day, severely, to the point where I almost can't walk. And at first he said, the doctor said that we would wait until I was 55 to have knee replacement surgery. And I told him that ain't happening, because I'm not going the next 8 years without being able to walk. Just not going to happen. Because it really cuts down on your quality of life. Let's see. Planning time. Put that here. And then trash day. These have the perfect icons. And then Monday is when I do usually some cleaning. And we want to put a checklist there. Tuesday. Oh, I know what I gotta do. I gotta put a Monday. This one's used, this one's used. So that's kind of my story. And I wish you would all tell me a little bit of your story. You know, and also how did you find my channel? You know, what brought you to my channel? How did you find it? What are your interests? Let's get a little sticker here. There, Greg's work. Work sticker. Let's put a little tag up here. We'll put that as a little reminder. And then Tuesday, we'll put a little gnome. Like he's sitting up here eating his watermelon. Tuesday I have a meeting at 5. What is this? We're going to put it over here. wonder if there's a little flag or something. Let me get the computer here. Because it's a Zoom meeting. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then let me put my appointments in. So July 13th, 3:30. So wow, I have a meeting at 5 and an appointment at 3:30. So do you have any other questions for me? You know, I've given you a little bit of my story. But is there more you want to know? I have 2 children. My son is 26. My daughter is 23. My son is married. And my daughter has 2 children, 364 days apart. Believe you me, I about lost it when she told me she was pregnant with the first one, but then she called and said she was pregnant again less than a year later. And yeah, I about lost it then too. I'll use this one at 2 p.m. So I have 2 grandbabies. We call the oldest little man, he's 2.5. And Meadow is a 1.5 years. And then Greg has an appointment at 8 p.m. So there is that. That is Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I always like to do on Monday. I like to do a load of laundry. Put Greg's appointment down. So I think that is my week. Let me pop these back in my planner so that you can see the full week. Let's see, we are back in July. Some deco and some sticky notes left, some scripts, some checklists and habit trackers, and then some functional boxes. And then these will go in my leftovers. These will go in my leftovers giveaway. So there is those. And here is Sunday the 11th. Monday the 12th. Tuesday the 13th. Wednesday the 14th. Thursday the 15th. Friday the 16th. And Saturday the 17th. So leave it in the comments. Any questions? How did you find my channel? Were you invited? Did you just find it when you were Googling? Let me know. Let's get to know each other better. And yeah, check out some of my videos. It has more of my story in it. So I will be back soon with another crafty, planner, or beauty video.